On February 26, 2024, the government of Canada introduced Bill C-63 to create a new online harms act. It is designed to protect users from cyberbullying, hate speech, terrorism related content, and other forms of online harm. The act is still in the early stages of development and has not yet been passed. According to the government, the legislation will make online platforms responsible for addressing harmful content and create a safe space to protect people, especially children. Today, me and Amitabh are going to have a discussion on this act. I have a few questions like why does Elon Musk think this act is insane? Why is there a need for such legislation? What is the situation in India when it comes to online hate? तो चलिए इसके बारे में ज्यादा बात करते हैं अमिताभ से। Hi Amitabh, welcome to another discussion. I'm sure you have already heard about this Online Harms Act, which was introduced by the government of Canada. I have few questions regarding this. First and foremost, I would like to know why does Elon Musk find Canada's new Online Harms Act insane?
Ah, Elon, our friend Elon. We need to go a little back in time when Elon Musk bought over Twitter and turned it into X. And he fired a lot of people. Rightly or wrongly, we can debate that. But one of the teams which was almost removed completely was the Trust and Safety team and the Trust and Safety Advisory Board. So I think Elon is a great businessman. He has earned a lot more money than I have. No doubts about anything over there and his brilliance. I don't think he understands online safety, especially when it comes to humans. And while he's great at building products, building businesses, safety is a little unique business because it plays into the emotional side of humans. Humans react in emotional manners at times, and that part I think Elon is not very good at, and that's why his criticism towards what is happening in Canada or what is happening in regulation. He's a firm believer of free speech, but he's a firm believer of absolute free speech. And as we have seen on the world of the internet, there was or there still is this platform called 4chan, where everything was allowed. And eventually it led to a lot of pedophiles, a lot of terrorists, a lot of extremists gather together on the platform. So what tends to happen is when you allow absolute free speech without any guardrails, that more often than not, negativity tends to prevail. And it is not an even match because honest people, positive people, educated people do not want to enter stupid conversations after a while. So Elon's criticism of this place is because of his lack of understanding of trust and safety. And I hope that he understands this because he has individually done a lot of damage to this whole space. So, yeah.
Why is there a need for new legislation?
We've been working in the space of online safety for a while. And one thing that we all need to realize is no company is going to spend money on anything which does not make them profit. And safety at the moment is not making them profit, rather decreasing their profits. Hence, countries need to become more aggressive. They need to put down their foot in order to ensure people using the internet and using the platforms are safe. And platforms are responsible because they make money off everything which happens on the platform. They monetize engagement. Therefore, it is extremely important that countries come up with regulations which they can implement and which have very, very strong fines. Unless you have a strong fine, these are the world's biggest companies we are talking about. So, to take online safety seriously, there is a need for it, and not just me. Tim Cook, Mark Zuckerberg, Jack Dorsey, multiple leaders of this space, Jeff Bezos, have said this. The Sundar Pichai, have said exactly the same thing, that we need a transparent, clear law which sets the standards. And then every company can go above those standards, but nobody can go below.
So you said there is no profit in this. And suppose you have a business and you know that in this area you will not get any profit, then why would you spend money in that?
Exactly. You will not, right? But if there is a law, then there is no way around it, right? If there is a provision that I need to, so for example, before you get insurance, many companies, insurance companies tell you, you have a shop and you're getting an insurance, they'll say, please install a CCTV camera. Okay. So now, why do we pay taxes? We are not getting any profit on taxes, but it is good for the public good, right? For the public infrastructure. Now, similarly, online safety is something which is good for everybody in the long run, not in the short run. And many companies sadly do not have that long vision. They want to focus on their this quarter's profit. But for your profit, should children die? Should women be stopped? Should people between the age of 8 to 80 be victims of sextortion, mental health? The problems of the internet and the problems of technology are very clear. In every standard, in every industry, cars, motorcycles, watches, phones, there are safety standards. Apple is responsible for its phone not blasting while you're talking on it. Similarly, Mahindra is responsible that their engine will not break down. Similarly, Asus is responsible that their laptop will not burst. So why should a software company not be responsible that it will not cause any harm to the user? So the time has come where we put standards, just standards, not too much of mingling into the business. Simple requirement is putting safety standards across the internet.
Okay, in the beginning of the video, I spoke about this Online Harms Act. We are talking about legislation. So, what, in your opinion, is the root cause of online hate?
The hate is a human factor. What I said in the beginning, right? We are emotional creatures. We can at times, for very small reasons. My Right now IPL is going on in India. Your team beats me. My team, we get angry. Both of us are not even playing. It's just a notional love. Similar things happened about religion, region. There is always a little bit of more love for what I have, a little bit of fear from the other. Noah Yuval Harari speaks about it very well, that there has always been conflict between tribes. So that will always be there. But when there are rules like there is in family, in society, in villages, in offices, then people refrain from saying what they feel like. And it is okay to pause and think about what do you want to say before you say it. I think there is no problem in having a few guardrails that if your speech is hurting somebody, maybe you should think twice.
We are talking about a couple of things. So, let's talk about in India context. What is the scenario in India when it comes to online hate?
So India is a very big country, very diverse country, and therefore we have very unique cases of hate. Religion, of course, is very big. Gender, caste. Wherever there is a region, so there are a couple of laws in place. There are a couple of terms of service, community guidelines. So I think a little bit of work has been done. A lot of work has to be done on raising awareness. A lot of work has to be done on overcoming something which is called the cultural lag. So cultural lag is basically that technology has come, but people have not become accustomed to the technology. That means we are still learning how to use the technology in a positive way. In that process, we are making mistakes. And that is where watchdogs like social and media matters become very important, where we need to highlight that this is a mistake. We need to call a spade for a spade. We need to say this is wrong. And we need to say it in a black and white manner, even if an elected representative during elections is criticizing a religion or commencing in hate speech. We need to be brave and highlight this is incorrect. Even if we don't belong to a particular caste, but there is caste hate happening, we need to highlight it. Similarly for religion. So India has its own complexities. We have some regulations in place where we are lacking and we have to improve is implementation. And it needs to start at the top. Our politicians, our actors, our cricketers, basically the social leaders of our country, they need to be very, very aware about this fact that they should never ever engage in hate speech. Currently, the problem is that they are the ones propagating it. We have normalized it. So there is a lot of work that needs to be done against.
You said awareness. So I want to know how these two parties, one is social media platforms and one is individual. So what responsibility they should have that these kind of awareness or this can help to curb the online hate.
Social media platforms should implement their terms of conditions and community guidelines, right? So anywhere you go, if you go to a new place, let's say a swimming pool has its rules. You can only swim in a swimming costume. You have to whatever, you cannot wear shoes, and you have to wear a skull cap to protect your hair. Now if these three rules are there, we should follow these three rules and then everybody's fine. Similarly, community guidelines and terms of service of social media platforms have to be implemented very, very strictly. And it can be implemented. Now we have technology, we have, the ability through artificial intelligence agents, where we can implement it very well. But what I said earlier in some of the answers, that it will eat up in their profit because it will decrease engagement, it will remove some bots. So initially, the graph will go down, but over a period of time, it will see a great rise because when you feel safe, that is when you want to spend maximum time in that place. Wherever you are feeling safe, be it your home, be it your office, your school. So engagement will go up, but it will go up later. In the beginning, it will all come down. It will come down massively on many of the big platforms because there are lots of bots. There is a lot of hate speech. So the second you start removing it, suddenly the number of active users might just dip, but it will come up later. So yeah, it's a difficult decision, but they have to now start taking these decisions because of the legislations in Europe, United States, and I think soon in India as well.
I was going to say that they all the platforms have community and these guidelines, and we have read them also because we are working with them. So we should know all the terms and condition and all the community guidelines they have. And then you said implementation. So that is not there, right? And I think there they are lacking.
Yeah, totally. They are lacking over there. And again, the mention of Dave Wilner, I think, till my dying days, whenever you talk about content moderation, I'll bring everybody back to his speech, which he did in Berkman and Klein. So right now, Vicky, the problem is content moderation technology is about 10 years old. They are still using that same technology that give me a slur list. So give me a list of abuses. I will give it to my content moderator and remove it. This is prehistoric. This is when we started working. Now the technology has advanced a lot, right? And there is already there are great companies out there. Active Fence is out there. Trimio is out there. OpenAI has released something to help them. Contrails, we are developing solutions. So there is great technology out there to do better content moderation currently, and I do believe that companies want to do it, but and we are consulting with companies every week. Every week I have long calls with their public policy team, their engineering team. But now because they are so big, they have to make big changes in their engineering. It will be expensive, it will take time, and it needs a lot of initiative. And the return on investment is not happening in the first year. It is happening over 5 years. So I think the slowness of return of investment is basically what keeps them away from implementing these changes.
And other day I was reading this article. I want to know about this thing as well. X has stated that it banned, to be precise, 1,84,241 accounts in India from March 26 to April 25. and there are many who are still clueless about this action taken by X. So why were these accounts banned in India?
I mean, there could be multiple reasons. We would have to look into the transparency report to find out. I think most of them must be on government's request because that gets enacted very sharply. The others must be having child pornography or something very explicit. So it is good that they are removing accounts. What will be better if they can give a transparency report on why they removed it and what are they doing to make sure that these accounts don't come back. Because if you remove an account, making a new one with the same content is a 2-minute play. So removing of 1,80,000 accounts, how impactful it is also something that we need to study. I think this year and the coming 2-3 years, we will see many legislations, many laws coming, and we'll also see many fines coming. So my input to all the friends across tech industry is please start proactively working on making your platform safer. The old methodology of bringing lawyers and trying to move your way around is not going to work. The reason these laws are coming is because users are not safe. And my prediction for India is in India, things take time. But when they happen with a very big hammer, right? ByteDance and TikTok were removed from the country. They lost their biggest market because of not being able to work on CSAM and other geopolitical reasons. So all the big tech companies and Indian companies and all companies should really prioritize safety of their users because now I think countries are taking it very seriously and they should take it very seriously. Even death of one child is not acceptable and we have to go with this zero tolerance policy. So I would just encourage everybody to work more on making their platforms safe.
All right. Thank you, Amitabh. Thank you shedding the light on this critical issue.